Have you ever replayed a conversation in your mind long after it ended? Maybe you wondered whether you said the wrong thing. Maybe you worried that someone misunderstood you. Or perhaps you spent hours imagining every possible outcome of a decision you haven't even made yet. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Overthinking is something almost everyone experiences. It can feel like your mind is trying to help you solve a problem, but instead it keeps you trapped in an endless cycle of thoughts. So why do we overthink everything? The answer begins with a simple truth about the human brain. Our minds are designed to protect us. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors survived by anticipating danger. The ability to think ahead, identify risks, and prepare for the worst helped humans stay alive. The problem is that our brains still operate in much the same way today. Even when there is no physical danger, the mind searches for threats. Instead of worrying about predators, we worry about rejection, failure, embarrassment, and uncertainty. When we don't know what will happen next, the brain often tries to regain control by thinking more, and more, and more. We tell ourselves that if we analyze every detail, we will eventually find the perfect answer. But that's where overthinking becomes a trap. The truth is that not every problem can be solved through endless analysis. Sometimes we replay the same thought so many times that it begins to feel productive. Yet nothing actually changes. The situation remains the same. Only our stress increases. Overthinking often comes from fear. Fear of making the wrong decision. Fear of disappointing others. Fear of failure. Fear of being judged. When the stakes feel high, the mind convinces us that thinking harder will guarantee a better outcome. But life rarely works that way. Some of the most important decisions we make come with uncertainty. No amount of overthinking can completely remove that uncertainty. In fact, overthinking often creates problems that never existed in the first place. A simple comment becomes a source of anxiety. A small mistake becomes a catastrophe in our imagination. A future event becomes a disaster before it has even happened. The mind begins creating stories, and we start believing them. The cost of overthinking can be surprisingly high. It drains our energy. It steals our focus. It makes it harder to enjoy the present moment. And perhaps most importantly, it keeps us from taking action. Because while we are busy thinking about life, life continues moving forward. The opportunities we want often require action, not perfect certainty. The conversations we need to have require courage, not endless preparation. The goals we want to achieve require movement, not constant analysis. This doesn't mean thinking is bad. Thoughtful reflection is valuable. Planning is valuable. Learning from mistakes is valuable. But there is a difference between thinking and overthinking. Thinking helps us move forward. Overthinking keeps us standing still. So what can we do when we find ourselves trapped in a cycle of endless thoughts? First, recognize that not every thought deserves your attention. Just because a thought appears in your mind does not mean it is true. Second, focus on what you can control. You may not control every outcome, but you can control your next step. And finally, remember that certainty is not a requirement for action. Most people are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect answer, the perfect plan. But life rarely gives us perfect certainty. Sometimes the best thing we can do is trust ourselves enough to move forward despite the unknown. Because at the end of the day, peace of mind does not come from having all the answers. It comes from accepting that some questions do not need endless analysis. They simply need a step forward. And perhaps that is the real answer to overthinking. The mind seeks certainty, but growth begins when we learn to live without it. Thank you for listening. This has been the Human Answers Library. Timeless questions, human answers.